3.5 years ago, I was invited to come have a conversation with the leadership council at that time. Some things were going on. The minister was leaving, we lost our building, and we were losing a couple grand a month. Other than that, things were great. And so I agreed to come in as the consulting minister and to serve the community as we strategized and created a new plan. So first thing I want to say is there is a history in this church that the minister helps you get into a new building and leaves. That is not my agreement. You are stuck with me. I am here for the long haul. I don't know how long that haul is, but as long as I'm hauling, I'm here, right? So we began a couple years ago. At the time when I first got here, we moved into the brickyard because that was available. We went to the barn, and then we came here because it became open. This center was not open on Sundays until we ask. Something to this asking. And so it became available. And we began to look at growing and thriving, and we're doing that. We're having a great time. So then we began to say, let's see if we couldn't create a new reality for ourselves where we got everything back under one roof. Once we got our finances sound and solid, and once we began moving forward, and once we solidified. So we looked at, I don't know, can this screen go down a little bit further? Because there's, thank you. So there's, excellent. Excellent. And something is back there, Rich. Piano. Oh, piano. Don't worry about the piano. So anyways, what we wanted to do is move all our operations under one roof. We wanted to keep within 5 miles of our current location. It was imperative we had easy highway access from all parts of the valley and Park City because we come from everywhere. It's really quite remarkable. We wanted seating for 250 to 350. That's easy. It's finding this parking that supports 250 to 350. That's the challenge. And that was attractive and affordable. Those were the parameters we set for ourselves. We put together an amazing team of really talented people. Keith and C.J. Campbell, Conrad, Kelly, Kevin Daniels, Shane and Kathy Hughes, Alan Finnegan, Claire Rawl, Myrna Hurst, and myself, who it says, attractor of really talented people. Here's what I figured out. You don't have to do anything well if you surround yourself with really smart and talented people. So I've made that my project. We have an amazing leadership council that is serving so graciously, and the members that just left that were part of this, we've been in this conversation. Myself, I sit on that, minister and attractor of really smart people, because that's what I do. We have an amazing staff that serves us, and it's Myrna and David and April and Shemaine, our musical team of Rick and Rich and Raj and Mike and Shemaine, and myself. What it says under here is who allows himself to be supported by really talented and smart people. You see, life is so much easier when you figure out I don't have to do this alone. I can allow this myself to be supported and the community to be supported. So we began in April of 2011. We invited the congregation into 40 days of prayer. We began a prayer vigil. We started with prayer. Some of you remember practicing this. Again, in August of 2012, as we continued to have this dialogue, we went into 40 days of prayer, working together to know the spiritual reality. We posted diagrams of our ideal space in our lobby so we could begin to imagine that reality. And we all prayed together. In January of this year, we invited Dr. Kathy Hearn to lead us through a co-creation process. Out of that, we had 25 people who did some depth work. For those who were there, they know it not only changed the life of the community, it changed our individual lives because we are only individuals in community. We had 25 people as a part of that. Then we invited the congregation into spiritual work to hold these intentions as we move forward to create reality. So I want you to get the spiritual piece as well as the physical. There's the truth, there's the facts. So then the physical process, we put out a search on the MLS and said, oh, wow, there's only 500 commercial properties. Which one? We narrowed that down to 25. We actually went and looked at about 10, and out of that, 3 came forward. The first one was a property over on Redwood Road. It's an existing church, 18,000 square feet, 3.5 acres, 110 parking spaces, could add additional, only $1.575 million, and just need a new roof and new air conditioning. Fixer. Looked at the bank and said, oh, we just need 1.565 more, and we're there. But we created a new rental equivalent that I believe that this community can have over time. We asked them if we could rent. They said, no, thank you. So then where we are now, our office space, we have 8,000 square feet came open directly next door. We should look at that. Could we do this? We put together plans. We began negotiations. We talked. We ran into some challenges with building code. And in the interest of our community, we felt like we wanted to play by those rules. So that did not happen. Then we went back to the property that we looked at a year ago in the Times Square Business Park, which is approximately 3rd West and 21st South. It's directly across from R.C. Willey, if you're familiar with that big R.C. Willey, at the intersection of I-15 and I-80, 330 West Bugatti, South Salt Lake, 7,000 square feet, seats approximately 250, 3 large classrooms, offices, many bathrooms. I'm told not enough by some of the women, but, I don't know. We can customize it to our own needs, and they're willing to wrap into our lease $75,000 to $80,000 in tenant improvements, which isn't a lot. We're being challenged. So this is what it looks like, complete with our sign. The power of programs that drop signs into places where they did not exist before. It's an amazing thing. This is the floor plan. You'll see that it seats about 266 in this drawing, shared office space here, 3 large classrooms. This one's about the size of our existing chapel that we use now, many bathrooms, kitchen, all that sort of thing, all wrapped into a nice, lovely space. One of the visions that I hold for this is that all this gathering space, I don't know what that is. Raj, I don't know what I just did, but I did something. Thank you. So is that we can use this space up front as a rotating art gallery. We love the arts. We support a lot of live music. We would love now to extend that into having that be a rotating art gallery for visual beauty being made manifest in the world. So here's the deal. We currently pay between $4,500 and $4,800 per month. Our utilities are included with that. This next step takes us to about $6,500. We're estimating our utilities. So what does that mean? That's a difference of $12,000 to $14,000 over the rest of this year. Oh my God, what will we do? Well, here's the thing. Somebody can write me a check today for $14,000 and I will accept it. Or we can all look at our own life. Here's how we're going to cover the shortfall. We are doing this because we are growing. Here's the good news. I have a lot of conversations with a lot of ministers who are all facing problems, just as we face a problem. The good news is our problems are related to growth. Very often that's not the case of the ministers. So, if we're going to have problems, I'd rather figure out, where do we put all the people? How do we serve our community? Where are they going to park? Because so many people want to be part of what we're doing, right? So we're looking at being able to grow to 400 or 500 in that existing facility. Even as we're doing that, we're creating small groups so that we keep intimacy and love happening and depth work in our community. We'll be able to increase our revenues from additional educational offerings. We can have additional services. We can have all kinds of stuff because we don't have to pack up every Sunday, right? Yes. We have increased giving. So just for fun, I was like, what does it take with 200 people, which is about our average attendance, to cover $13,000? It would mean that 200 people would have to be willing to give $2.50 more per week for us to cover the $13,000. Now, that may not be possible for some. For some, they can go beyond that. For another $50 per month, based on $200, we create about $65,000, which helps us take care of chairs and deposits and all of the things we need to do, and create a reserve fund, which I'm very excited about. Right? So now that's not going to happen. It never does. We have a very crazy business model. For those of you that study business, you know, if you go to a movie, you get to pay whatever they charge. If you go at a matinee, you can pay less. If you're a senior, you get a discount. If you're a kid, you get a discount. Here, we just say, hey, come on down. You can give us money and don't give us money. You get the same program, right? So some of us feel that this is our spiritual community. We support it big. Some don't. It's okay. Everybody gets to be a choice. But what I want us to know is for us to go to the next level, it's going to take more than what we're doing now. And I think we're perfectly capable of doing that. Anybody wants to give me $100,000? I know what to do. Here's the deal. Up until about $10 million, I'm pretty good. I know exactly what to do. If you want to give me more than $10 million, give me a week and I'll tell you what we'll do with that, right? It's a stretch, but it's not a huge stretch. It's going to require more of us. So each of us gets to look within our own heart and our own budgets to say, can I do more? This is why I want to have this conversation today. So we'll be moving out of the Brickyard. Our lease is up at the end of the month. We're moving out. We may be officeless for a little bit. We're hopefully signing the lease tomorrow, and we'll get things moving. Somewhere in June, we'll move into the new building. That's why we want your email addresses as quickly as we can. And we'll continue to hold Sunday services here until we can transition. And the last day here, we'll pack for the last time our trailer and go home. There's other financial considerations so impactful that I couldn't tell you what they were. But what we should know is there's about $12,000 for chairs, because this doesn't have chairs. There's about $10,000 for a deposit. There's some things here, a sign, all that kind of thing. I'd love to have a $15,000 just sitting in reserve, knowing that we're not stressing. So all of that comes to about $50,000. Question is, will you support it? Yes. There's me waving. No. So all I can say is thank you for your generous support of this community. Operators are standing by. If you want to swipe or give us checks or whatever, and here's the thing. You know, I love to laugh about money, but what I've discovered is if we just talk like adults, we can each have this conversation, and now you already know to be impeccable with your word. You're not going to take anything personally. You're not going to make assumptions. You're just going to say, yes, here's my thing. If you can do more, we invite you to do more. If you can't do more, we invite you to see a practitioner. Because there's a limiting belief somewhere, right? I've said 100 times, I'm not looking to have a rich church. I'm looking to have how do I turn that off? I'm looking to have a rich congregation that supports a wealthy spiritual community.